Yo, what's up, Moors in America? It's Sharif Ali, it's your boy. I'm coming at you to share some powerful, enlightening information because that's what I do. And that's what this website, this YouTube is all about. If you haven't done so already, go to moorsinamerica.com, right? Share that, save it, bookmark it, do what you got to do. Save it on your phone, save it on your computer, and share it with your family and friends. They all need to know. The information on here is enlightening and powerful, and we are literally changing our reality. I don't know if you see it like I see it, but things are changing. I mean, like, the information, the stuff that's on the website, the stuff that we talk about on our channel is so powerful, it's so incredible that the powers that be do not want this leaking out. They're not talking about this stuff in the media, but we are literally changing our reality. People like me and other light bringers, we're making it where it has to be discussed because you guys are sharing and subscribing, and you're making sure everybody knows. You're sharing it with all your family and friends, and it's starting to get to the point where people in the mainstream, people out there who are out front, are starting to talk about this stuff. They're starting to deal with this information. We're changing our reality where politicians, lawmakers, celebrities, rappers, athletes, actors, all types of people are starting to talk about this stuff, and it's changing. Okay, so we're doing things, and it's not happening because they want it to happen. It's happening because we want it to happen. Okay, and because we're important, we're a big deal. And so definitely, if you haven't seen any other videos on the channel, go through, check them out. If you haven't dealt with this type of information before, it's going to blow your mind. And even if you have been exposed to it, you're going to see something that you've never heard before, because I'm like nobody else. Everyone is bringing their own thing to the picture. So bringing my piece to the picture and trying to help round it out for everybody, so you know what's really going on, because they're not telling you what's really going on. Okay, they're not going to tell you on the news, TV or movies, whatever you do, they're not telling you. Okay, they're not telling you in school and in the history books. We're covering that. We're fixing in the pieces that are missing from the puzzle. Okay, so you definitely need to subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you save moorsinamerica.com. We're on Facebook too. We got a like page and a group. Both of them are huge and exploding. You need to join that stuff on Twitter too and Instagram. It's all the same, Moors in America. So get on there, share it, keep spreading it, keep doing what you're doing, because we're changing our reality. That's what it's all about. Love, peace, truth, freedom, and justice. All right, Sharif Ali, Moors in America. Yo, Moors in America, we live. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, right? That's what we stand on. So I wanted to address some stuff, and I'm using this post because it's like a public Facebook post. It made me think about it, but it's not really about like any people or person in particular. So don't get offended, because nobody's above criticism, and that's how we learn and grow, right? So what I was really trying to address is that, like, you have a lot of people out here, right, who are making their own Moorish license plates, their own IDs, right to travel card and all that stuff. And like, I'm not even knocking it, because it's cool. Everybody do their own thing, I guess, to a degree. It's cool. I mean, a lot of people, aren't rolling with the nationality cards that the Moorish Science Temple was giving out, that Noble Drew Ali actually started, that look like this. And people are doing their own thing, right? And people have reasons for doing that. So I'm not knocking it. But like, you got a lot of people out there who don't even really have all the knowledge, and even some that are learned, that study and everything, and they're acting like they superior, like they're exempt, and they're trying to like shame other people, into either messing with them or purchasing the stuff from them or whatever. And it's crazy because like, nobody is exempt. Like, having a right to travel card, having a Moorish license plate and all this stuff, it's not going to protect you. It's not going to save you. It's not saving anybody. It's not like, having that stuff, makes it where law enforcement sees you and they automatically know, don't mess with them. We can't get with them, because we're not at that point yet. We haven't really done the things yet exactly that we're supposed to. Like, it's going to take some time. Like, we have to work together. We have to pool our resources. We have to influence laws. We have to get laws made. We have to hire our own police force.
buy tracts of land, and set things up for ourselves. We have a lot of work to do. So, for the people that's acting like it's already done, it's kind of reckless, because it's not just paperwork. It takes real force to be able to back up some of the things that people are trying to do, and that's just common sense. Like claiming Hebrew Israelite, claiming any of that stuff, it's not gonna like make the police not mess with you. It's not gonna. It doesn't work like that. And like, I really don't have to say this. A lot of you know that's common sense, but some people actually don't know this because they're getting confused with all the conflicting information and stuff that's out there, right? And so, like, once again, this ain't a knock to these people or whoever. This is just an example, right? But there's people who are actually selling stuff like this. They'll get the machines and stuff, or they'll outsource the work, and they'll like make their own ID cards and sell them, right? And sell license plates and stuff like this. And they sell the stuff, and some of these people don't even use it. Like, for real, there's people out there that are Moors, claim to be Moors, and they try to build up following so people will buy stuff from them, buy products and paperwork and stuff, and they don't even use it. They don't even stand on it. They want you to have a Moorish passport and a Moorish license plate and be out there putting your life on the line, and they don't even use it, They don't have a license plate on their car. They don't drive so that people don't see that they're not riding with that Moorish license plate. Or you know what I'm saying? They have a regular driver's license, and they don't want you to know that, but they want you to buy this stuff and use this stuff and then have to say all this extra stuff to the police when you do get pulled over, because we know what time it is, And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, just go back and look at the moresinamerica.com site, look at the YouTube and see where I'm at. Like, I know what time it is, hopefully you know what time it is. It's like you putting yourself in harm's way, doing some extra-ish, some extra shit. Because if you're not really up on the law and like really astute with it, where you're talking to a police officer who knows the law somewhat, he knows more than the average person, but he's not up on the law like when you see the Moors in court where they're in there and they don't have a lawyer and they're in there speaking for themselves and handling it. Most police officers are not on it like that. So if you're talking all this stuff, they don't even know what the hell you're talking about. You have to speak to their commander, you have to go over their head, And I'm saying this to say, like, if you're rolling with all these extra documents and things, you're putting yourself in harm's way if you're not on the law like that. And then you still might, get captured or whatever you want to call it. You still might wind up going behind bars. And it could be over simple stuff like a speeding ticket. Something that anyone else would just like, whatever, pay it, or go to court and challenge it, fine. But, like, if you're trying to stand on your square and all this stuff and you don't really know what you're doing, you can really be, and I'm not saying it to try to scare anybody. I'm just being real, man, like, for real, because if you, like, you're hyped about Moorish nationality or whatever it is, you think Hebrew Israelite, whatever, but you're hyped about this stuff and you want to do something, that's cool. That's good. That energy can be used in a positive, constructive way. There's a lot of people out here taking advantage of the fact that, and once again, I'm not saying it's these people that just happen to be on the screen or like that. I'm not saying that. I had this up here for a reason, because I was going to read this dialogue to you. Okay. I'm making a point. So I'm not saying these people in particular, but I'm just saying there's people out there that's taking advantage of it. I had to scroll the screen down so you don't think I'm talking about whoever face was up just now. But like, there's people out here who's taking advantage of that, right? And they selling documents, they selling stuff that they might not even be using. And that they know, like, you're going to have to go through a lot of work to stand on that, okay? And so, for most people, that's not viable, And so, I was just saying that because somebody was sharing this and, saying how they don't pay taxes and stuff, and that's cool. We shouldn't pay taxes. Matter of fact, income tax is illegal. But you know how they enforce it? You know how it gets done? You know how that gets done? Because they have the power, the people. You know, they'll get people who look like you to come and arrest you, to come and mess with you. You know, they got actual buildings with people's in there locked up behind bars. You know, and if it's so like, you know, they so powerless and they can't do nothing, why don't we just walk out those prisons? Why don't we just, you know, take over? It takes a little more work to it than that. So you can't just up and just, oh, yeah, I don't know how to pay taxes. I don't need your stuff. I don't need none of this stuff. It takes some work to get there, right? And so, yeah, I was going to read this dialogue because I tried to explain that in this conversation. And, you know, there was somebody sharing this, you know, this person's ID and everything, and they're talking about it. And people have different things to say. A police officer, a brother who was a police officer, had said something just saying, like, yo, it's just a heads up. Like, because I guess the person that posted it, he knew him in South Carolina. He's like, look, on those roadways, you got to have a valid South Carolina license, proof of insurance, vehicle registration. The law enforcement, you know, just wants those 3 documents. They don't care about right to travel or any of that stuff, right? They don't care. Some of them don't even understand. And so, like, I mean, like, there was a brother in, you know, like in St. Louis who was a Moor who was wearing his fez and going to the temple and everything. I don't know if he was a teenager or a young man or what, but he got killed. And I don't even remember his name. He got killed, man, and that was a perfect chance for the Moors to stand up and, like, challenge that and, you know, do something about it. Make an example like, hey, you're not going to do this to us. And nothing happened, man. Okay? So I'm just saying, like, you know, and that I'm not even saying that dude was out there trying to, you know, pull out, you know, his own ID cards and stuff. You know, he probably had, like, a regular nationality card and everything. But I'm just saying, like, the police don't care, man. Because, you know, they're race soldiers. Their job is to subjugate us, to, you know, try to hold us down. You know, and it's like the system that they trying to prop up, that they work for, is going down anyway. It's on its way out. You know? I ain't on no scared bullshit. You know? Pardon me for cursing. I ain't on that bullshit. I'm not scared of shit. And it's like, we taking over the world. We on the rise. We coming up. So, like, you know, people are doing a bunch of extra stuff that collectively we aren't even at that point yet. There's so many different Moorish factions. You know, you got so many different people who's trying to approach it from different ways, and for whatever reason, you know, they still haven't, like, just like, okay, let's put aside those differences. Some have, and some are working together. So I ain't even trying to act like we stupid or something like that. I'm just saying there's some who just, like, for whatever reason, they ain't working, you know, together. There's egos and all types of things is preventing it from being where it's supposed to be at. We supposed to, like, you know, we have a national movement. We supposed to be, you know, at a different level collectively. It ain't supposed to be just a bunch of different factions. Everybody can have their different groups and all that stuff, but collectively, you know, we got to move as a unit on certain things, you know, especially to get these protections so that, you know, we cool. We not out here, like, getting pulled over thinking like, damn, is this cop gonna be trying to get on some bullshit or what? You know, we shouldn't even be in that situation, right? And so, you know, just making our own cars and doing these things is, you know, rolling with paperwork and all that stuff. That's not it. That's not all. It takes a lot more work, and we got to work together on some of this stuff for it to carry weight, right? So, like, yeah, like I was just trying to read the response because, you know, I was responding to that because they were trying to clown the cop. And I get it. I get why people would try to clown him. I get everything. I understand where you're coming from, you know. But, you know, at the same time, man, we got to be realistic about the situation that we're in, you know. So, you know, I just said, like, hey, you know, the way that they came at that cop was reckless, man. Because it's like, look, you know, the powers that be do not have to respect the ID cards. We don't have our own municipal officers or standing military to back up any of the stuff that we're claiming, right? Any of the stuff that we believe that we know to be true. At this point, we're not even all in agreement under our own national flag. Some of us have even created our own flags, man. It's like, look, we all know that this de facto government, what they're doing is illegal. We know it. You're not telling anybody anything new. It's a lot of people that have been on this for years like me. You're not some genius coming at me with some information I ain't never heard. I already know it. What else, nigga? Sorry, what else? What's next? It's reckless to belittle people and try to shame people who not riding around with Morse plates and new IDs and not paying taxes, and people who's, not doing stuff like that. It's reckless because you don't represent a body with the military force to back up these actions. If you really want to change things, then you have to recognize the process is going to take years. And we're not going to realistically be at the point that some of these people are speaking on, where we're not being assassinated and harassed out here, until after all these different factions at least agree to put the Moorish American nationality before their differences and before their egos and enact their own government. Because you got people who don't want to step down because they want to be the leader. And so they rather be the leader of their little group than to be, take what they would perceive as a smaller position within a national government, which is crazy, right? You have 50 states, right? In the U.S. So you got all these states and all these governors and all these different people. And, it's like, look, that's cool. We can have different states. We can have, we don't all have to be, riding the same wave and doing the same thing. But at some point, we do have to have our nationality first, and we need to come together in that way, right? So, we haven't done that yet. We can't have a dozen dudes walk around saying they the president. Everybody's the supreme grand sheik. Thousands of grand governors and all this stuff. It can't be like that. It's still in disarray, and that's just within the Moorish circle. So I'm with you, but if you pushing that, you're not being real, because you can't hop on the phone and call on your own Moorish police force for backup, right? And that's how come I'm making this a video, so more people can see and hear this dialogue, because this was just on a Facebook post. And, I don't own Facebook, but I have my own website, and I'm putting this out on my format so that more people can see this, because people need to hear this, because a lot of people's confused. There's people who like me, been on this for years, and so I could be around people who are on this and be good, but somebody else who's just coming into this information, they would be around that person and maybe be influenced by them, and not have all the knowledge, not have a well-rounded view of things. Because it's like, look, if you have a well-rounded view, you can sit back and look, that, hey, this guy is pushing and acting like he got the force to back it up, but he don't. And that's plain and simple, right? So and I ain't even, I'm not knocking anyone personally. So if you're getting offended, especially if people comment, because I know people's going to comment and have negative stuff to say, that's dumb. Because it's like, we men, man. You can't handle some criticism. I don't give a damn if you criticize me. It doesn't even affect me. But if it's valid, I would, correct my behavior. I'll correct myself. And so criticism, shouldn't make you cry and get emotional, So that's all it is. And so yeah, this had to be put out there to, so that other people can hear this and know there's another side to this. There's more to it than just what you see. Being Moorish isn't claiming all the land is yours, which it is, but claiming that and then going and squatting in the house, and trying to claim that house. People, there's a woman who squatted in a house where I grew up in Memphis, right? She squatted in a mansion. And they threw the book at her and locked her up for decades. She got, put in prison for 20 years or something ridiculous for squatting in the house. And then the thing is, anyone can do that. You're not doing that because you're indigenous to the land and you're Moorish and you have Aboriginal rights to the land and that's why this is yours. No, everybody can squat in the house. That's some bum ass shit. Anyone can do it. Anyone. Europeans do it all the time. Bums do it. You can do that. There's scam artists who do that. That's one of the things, if you rent out houses and stuff, that you got to watch out for. Some scam artists can come up in there, act like they want to see the house, go up in there and squat in the house and move in, change the locks, and now it's theirs, and now you got to go to court and go through all this stuff to get some bum out of your house. And I'm not saying that people that are on the Moorish stuff trying to do it are bums. I'm using that as an example because it's some scam artist shit. Anyone can do it. You don't have to be a Moor to do it. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, people are out here mixing ideologies and different things in and acting like it's the Moorish nationality thing, that like Noble Drew Ali didn't bring any of that stuff. And like, people who think they smart, they gonna come at it with like, you on some religion. If Noble Drew Ali didn't do it, then we not supposed to do it. And like it's not like we aren't supposed. Look, man. Okay, all right. I'm trying to figure out a way to explain this, because, okay, some people would try to attack what I'm saying and say, well, you just acting like if Noble Drew Ali didn't say it, then we aren't supposed to do it. You acting like we aren't supposed to do our own thing. Like, there's nothing else for us to do. We just do whatever Noble Drew Ali said. Now, for someone who's coming at it like that, right? Okay, the problem with that approach is that you're not taking it an extra level, like applying things that affect us now, like modernizing what he brought, like, saying, okay, that was in 1920, this is 2017. You're not doing that. We don't have to squat in houses because it's 2017. We don't have to make our own license plates because it's 2017. Now, if it was at the point where, hey, we went ahead and unified, we just put our national government first, and all the people put their egos aside, and we started getting our own officials in power. We started getting our own townships, hiring our own fire department and police department, where we don't have those issues anymore, where we're in control of our situation like we're supposed to be. We control our water supply. We control our food supply and all these things, which we can really do. Some of this might sound unrealistic to you, but if it sounds unrealistic to you, why the hell are you defending having your own license plates and stuff if you don't even think we can do those things, right? So if we had done those things like we're supposed to do, then yeah, of course we're supposed to print our own license plates and anything else we want to do. And we would have the power to do it. We will have our own military. We'll have our own boats, planes, our own aircraft carriers, all these things that we're supposed to have and supposed to do in the modern age, in this time. Whatever it was that we want to have our energy source, solar power, we could do that. We wouldn't have to be where, like, now, if you tried to do that, just take a whole block off of the energy chain, off the grid, you're going to run into trouble with the energy companies because they have a monopoly over this stuff. One house want to do solar power, who cares? You want to start taking whole blocks off of the energy grid, you're going to find out that you're messing with the mafia because they run this stuff, But if you have your own township, your own cities, your own, you have the city council and all that stuff like you're supposed to, then you can do whatever you want, right? So we didn't do that. And that's what we have to do. And some people's lazy and they don't want to do it. You're not worried. You're not thinking about the future. You're not trying to set up a legacy for yourself and for your children and future generations. You're not trying to do that, And so you can't run around like, oh, I'm a sheriff. I'm the sheriff. I'm the police. I'm doing this, and that. You're not. You can when you run into the real law enforcement, and I'm not saying they're real because I'm just saying because they got the backup, dude. Being real about the situation, what you're going up against, man. If you're really like tactical minded and war minded, you are real about the situation. There's a reason why the other side puts up a white flag. There's rules to engagement. You don't just go up against something knowing that you're going to lose and knowing you're going to get a bunch of people that's believing in you, that's what you killed. You don't do stuff like that. You have to think smart and think tactical minded. So that's why I'm putting this out, man. Because, there's some people who seem like they're smart. They shouldn't, be acting that reckless, right? And so that's what I'm really saying. That's why that's why I'm sharing this, there's still a ton of work to do in the background off of Facebook, there's some things that should be done. This should be done face to face, getting your hands dirty, actually tilling the ground, growing food, all types of stuff that has to be done off of Facebook. That means no pictures posted. We're not telling people about it, not going live. It's just not discussed in the public, Right? So there's no disrespect to these people on the post because it's not about them. You see, I'm not talking about anybody on an individual level. This is things that's going on. There's a lot of people that are getting confused and just want to address that, right? And I don't think it's productive, like, to point out stuff that a lot of us already know. Like, oh, this government is illegal, all these things. We already know this, right? You can't act like we're already organized. We already have all of our offices, all of our different branches of government set up, and then we're doing what we're supposed to. It's not there yet, right? And so, like, if you don't represent a branch of our government, you don't have the funds to, like, hire our own police force, to get people to come work for our private security firm, then you can't talk. You can't knock anyone else. You definitely can't knock anyone who's got a driver's license and a regular passport and all that stuff, right? So it's like, I'm with y'all, but if you're not, talking about finances, you just shooting the breeze. And so, like these nationality cards, that people are making their own cards, right? People make their own nationality cards, their own, like, IDs, and they make them look like modern. They make them look like driver's licenses and stuff. And that's, that's cool and all. Everybody can do whatever they want. But, like, that's not really what the prophet brought. This is the nationality card. It's simple, right? And it says, I'm a true American citizen. Because, like, of course, if you know anything about, like, blacks, Negroes, Indians, all these things, they're not actually citizens. And not only that, if you fall up under those labels, you're removed from the family of humans. You're not connected to the original people of the world. Everyone else is. People that are called white are, Asians, everyone's connected to the human family except for the African American, the Negro, right? The Haitian, they threw that in there too. So, and that's the card. That's, like, this is somebody's card that they posted online for some reason. But, like, that's real simple, nationality card, right? And so people are making their own. And it's like, what I was saying was just like, some people out here, like they skipped all the work that we have to do and then fast forwarded to the year 2118. It's not 2018. They just went ahead like 100 years, 200, 300 years, right? To where we actually have our own working government. And like, it's like we don't even have any elected officials yet. We don't even have people in our back pocket. We don't have, people on city council and all this stuff, and different. Maybe there are some more. I don't know. Like, maybe there are some who's actually on point who are, doing these things on a local level. Okay. But, the majority aren't, right? So don't even have these things where you can get laws made and changed and get the protections that you want. Okay. Because, like, if we're getting protections, the police aren't going to be messing with you. People would know that when they kill you, they're going to go to prison. They don't even go to trial. Right? So it's like, where's our Moorish American lobbyists, who's out here, paying to get laws made, basically? We should have a local agenda and a national agenda, right? How come you can't act like we're there yet? We don't even have this. This should be happening, right? So, like, these people, they skipped all that. And they acting like it doesn't even need to happen. And I'm into metaphysics and all that. But, damn, I'm not going to forget, that I need to make money. I have to feed my children, Like, I'm not going to be out here drunk and high and, I'm good. They good. No, dude, no matter what I'm doing, I know I got to take care of some things. They got to handle business. So why are these people out here acting like they don't have real physical steps to take to get to that point where our ID cards and Moorish plates actually carry some weight out here in the streets? They don't carry no weight, man. Why they just pretending they do? It doesn't. And I don't appreciate that because it's reckless. It's like I was saying, I'm 30. I just turned 38. I'm not going to be going through all this extra mess with law enforcement knowing I don't have any Moors to back me up, just so I can demonstrate, just so I can stand on my square, And the prophet said this stuff way back then, and it still applies today. In his warning, in Act 5 of our divine constitution and bylaws, he said, I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or in the streets. We are for peace, not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequences. And so it's like, I mean, like, this stuff still applies, basically. It still applies. It's still valid. I just wanted to speak on that because it's like that perspective needs to get heard from somebody who's qualified to talk on that. And so people's out here being reckless with this stuff, and y'all need to be careful, especially, more as just coming into this information, right? You just getting into it. It's unfortunately there's a lot of BS you got to watch out for, right? And once again, this ain't like coming at anybody in particular. As you see, I'm not like talking about any people and singling anyone out. I'm just using this, this Facebook as an example because it's a public, forum, and people put their, put stuff out here and talk about it. So it's open to the public and it's open to criticism, because if you're going to willingly put your stuff out there, it's open to criticism. That's what Facebook is for. You don't own any of this stuff, right? So, I just wanted to hit on that. And y'all take from that, information however you can use it to your advantage. Take it or leave it. I don't think it's smart to be out here creating your own license plates and all this stuff and acting like we already have done the work that we need to do. Okay? I think it would be better if we would actually put in the work and unify and then move accordingly. So that's it. Peace.